Ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to episode 89 of the... I had it and I lost it. I had it and I lost it. Okay, here we go. Ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to episode 89 of the Nintendo Talk Podcast. I am Bobby, the Nintendo Guru, joined by my best friend in all the land, Mr. Toby Thornton. Toby.
I think you nearly got it right this time. It sounded like you said AB9 instead of 89. Welcome to episode AB9.
I said 89. Don't even try it.
AB9.
AB9. That'll be the title of the show. AB9.
AB9.
AB9. What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm alright. You know what? Like, my voice might sound a bit funny because I went mental at the dogs earlier and I shouted probably louder than I ever have before.
Really?
And now my voice hurts.
Why would you yell at the dogs?
Because when Evie's crying, they get upset and they howl, and it's like babies crying, dogs are howling. Like I'm just having a mental breakdown, and I just snapped.
They're feeling for the baby.
Yeah, but they're idiots. They should know there's nothing wrong with the baby.
Well, they don't know that there's nothing.
Stop getting upset. The amount of times that she's cried. Why do they care so much?
Because
stop caring.
Love her. They love her, unlike you.
And you tell them to shut up, and you tell them to get out, and then they hide in the doorway and they howl from the flipping hallway instead.
Oh my god, it's amazing. You gotta record that sometime. You really
Bloody
do.
It's insane.
Just go get her in there and just, like, wake her up and, like, whatever, and make her start crying, and then start recording them howling. That is so funny, dude. Oh my god. That's the best.
I swear my entire street must have heard me.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah,
they're probably
I know.
like all rich uppity people, and they're like, "This is what we live next to." This guy.
So I went for a walk after that.
I guess you did.
Just leave the dogs at home.
What did Karina say?
Oh, she was at work. She didn't know.
Oh, so she don't even know that this went down.
Well, I told her, and the funniest thing as well is after that. So I'm worked up and angry. My throat's hurting from shouting. Evie's ready to go out. I go to the bathroom. We've got an ensuite in the bedroom. And there's a basket of clothes behind the door. So I go to the bathroom, squeeze in, go to the toilet, come out, open the door, forget the basket's there. So the door rebounds, hits me like square in the face, pretty much. And because I'm already worked up, I grab the door and I'm like shaking the door in anger, right? I step outside, I give the wash basket a right good kick in because I'm so angry. Clothes are flying out.
You're a mess.
Felt good, man.
You are a mess.
Sometimes you just gotta let your anger out.
Apparently so.
Inanimate objects.
Apparently that's what we do in this world. It's like that's a thing. Like you just, wow. Okay,
I felt better for it.
Oh my god. Oh my god. So, before we kick this episode off like we do each and every episode, I don't appreciate you guys taking some shots at me this week.
What do you mean? What are you
don't
talking
even,
about?
You know, well, don't even. What do you mean?
I don't know what you're talking about, Bobby.
You and Benji Kong and Danny Ward having your way with my good name.
You deserve it.
Really?
Let me tell you this. You deserve it because you are trying to embarrass me by telling them things about our secret conversations that get brought up on the show.
Well, let's be fair. If the audio wasn't messed up, it would have been on the episode. But my audio, I forgot to record you, and like I did just a while ago, and what I would have put on the backside of the show was missing. So I lost out on
Yeah, but the
comedy
thing
gold.
is, it's different when it's me and you, Bobby. Like, I don't mind telling you these things because we're close, we're lovers,
Well,
right?
the crazy. Well, that is true. But the crazy thing is, like when you told them the story, it sounded so much worse than when you told it to me. Like you told it to me, and I was like, "Oh, that's normal. Whatever." I was thinking you were like sitting on the couch watching TV, and your ball fell out the bottom of your boxers, and then I didn't realize you were actually on the floor playing with the baby, and then like, you look down and like.
She wasn't directly beneath me, Bobby. It's not like I was teabagging my daughter.
Oh my god! You know what I meant. I know. I'm just saying, like. When they got explained, it just blew me away. Because I was like, that's different. That's not what I remember of the story. I was like, okay then, Toby. You do you, buddy. You do you. Oh my god. Anyway.
It's too embarrassing. I can't believe you brought it up again.
It's too good, man. It's too good. Anyway, let's kick this episode off like we do each and every episode with our Geek Outs.
With our Geek Outs?
You piece of trash. You did that on purpose. What are you geeking out about, sir?
I'm geeking out about something that happened yesterday.
Really?
My friend Mike came round and we played some Mario Maker together.
Oh.
And we checked out Mr. Bobby Paul's levels, right? So
is that why he called you names on the comments?
Well, yeah, because this is what happened. So we played your train level, got through that. I actually beat it because the first time I played it, the servers went down for maintenance just as I hit that act. It didn't even count that I played your level, so I was like, right, got to beat it again. So I did that. Then I showed him your first level, the Pipe World 1-1. And we beat it, and then we got to the end, and Mike saw the world record was 17 seconds, 17.3 something seconds, something like that. So then he's like, let's try and beat that. So then we spent a good 2 solid hours playing your level over and over and over, getting every single minute movement and timing exact. And we got so close for so long, we were just microseconds away from beating it.
Yeah.
And just like maybe an hour before Mike had to go home, he beat the time. And we were celebrating. I was like, give me the controller, quick, give me the controller. Quickly saved the 30-second clip, uploaded it to Facebook, world record. That was Mike's time, right?
I thought that was your time. I didn't realize it was Mike's. Okay.
So I was going to come on the podcast today and be like, yeah, Mike got the world record on your level. Like, it's on my profile, but he was the one who did it. However, when Mike went home, I spent another solid hour beating Mike's time, right? Because I couldn't have that.
Of course not.
Yeah.
Of course not.
Definitely could not have that. So I managed to shave like another 0.02 of a second off of Mike's time.
Oh my god.
So, and I beat the record twice. I beat it once and then I beat my record again because I figured out a new strat with the start of the level. But dude, it's so satisfying. The adrenaline was insane.
That's amazing.
Because I never thought I'd be playing with one of your levels as a speedrun level.
Yeah.
But it's so interesting that your level is designed in such a way that it can be like ran through in the same way every time because there's not really any randomness to it. So once you figured it out, you can just do it over and over, and it becomes skill based at that point.
You know what I do with my levels, and this is what I feel like makes a good level. I build the level for the run.
Yeah.
So I build the level with no enemies at all.
Yeah.
And I build it for the run. And then when it's done and I've built the run, then I go back and implement enemies.
That's interesting.
And then I run it through, and then I go like, that's a little tough, that's a little easy. Let me add a couple enemies or change it up here and there. So I always build it around the game, in theory, the gameplay first, and the difficulty second. Like I want it to be a fun level first, and then ramp up the difficulty as I can. So but that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, so I challenge any of our listeners that want to try and beat my time on Bobby's
That's
Pipe
amazing.
World 1-1.
I have to drop in the Discord and tell people.
That would be amazing.
We have that going on too. I don't know if you know this, but in the Discord there is a Mario Maker level share where people are sharing their levels, because I've been going on Twitch and playing their levels each night, and which is pretty awesome. It's a lot of fun. I get some levels and I just I'm on the verge of cursing so bad because these guys are just... But they're really good levels, man. Yeah. Benji Kong did one that I thought was really good. Actually, Game had tweeted it out. Okay,
I played one of Benji's levels. Mm-hmm. Didn't like it.
Well, I don't blame you.
It was. I don't know. It was one of his first levels. I played he had a Dry Bones dungeon level that I did really like. That's
the one that he tweeted out, and Game tweeted it out. I like that one. It was a good one.
I like that one a lot. But the first level I played of his it was weird because we're going to talk a lot about Mario Maker 2 today. But so basically you have to collect a certain amount of coins, 110 coins to get to the goal. And I kept only getting 80 coins, and I was like, where's the rest of these coins? I've been in every pipe. Then I saw at the top of the level there was a pipe on the ceiling, and I was like, I must have to fly into that pipe. So I spent ages flying up, hitting the pipe, not going quite in it, and it turns out you can't go in that pipe, right? And there's another pipe that you go down to a sub area, and there's some coins in there. And at the edge of that, you can see another section of the level that's got a Koopa Trooper and more coins and an arrow pointing up. But there's no way of accessing that sub area. It's just a part of the level that he didn't finish, but you can still see it. So like, in my head, I'm like, I've got to get down in there and find these coins, but it's just a big troll because you can't get there anyway. And it ended up you have to fly back to the start of the level, and there's a 30 coin just above the start of the level. So,
good God.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Anyway,
drove me woolly, that did.
I bet it did. Myself, I am geeking out about yesterday. I went to New York City. Went to the Nintendo New York store with Miguel, and actually met Josué Ponce from Ninmobile News there. Met Joe after work there. Met Jams Gams there. Robbie Bobby Miller drove from Baltimore to New York, which is about a 6-hour drive, just to hang out with us and meet us. He gave me this Baltimore Orioles baseball cap that I'm wearing today.
Amazing.
Just such a blast. We were there for hours, just hanging out, going through the store. So I start off this shopping spree, Toby.
Okay.
Where I'm picking up all these
Bobby Big Bucks.
Dude, I'm picking up all these plushies, right? Yeah. And I'm just grabbing them. And I'm like, I'm going to put them in the cubby holes behind me. Like I had like almost every single other Animal Crossing plushie. So I was going to fill out that area, be good. There was a couple Splatoon 2 plushies I picked up. I picked up this really cool looking Bowser. It was a toy, but it was just like really heavy and bulky. It's probably about 6 or 7 inches tall. Really nice. Got a couple coffee mugs. I'm ready to go. And then I turn around the corner. Yeah. There is Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, special edition Switch in the glass case.
Right.
And I go, guys, I think I need this in my life.
Oh, man.
I think I need this Switch in my life. And I bought the Switch. I bought the special edition Switch. Ooh, so I went and I walk up to Miguel and I said,
"You're a madman."
I said, "Do me a favor, hold this stuff." He's like, "Okay." I said, "I don't want that stuff now." And
go put it back on the shelf.
So I bought a book bag and I bought the console, because the thing of it is I always had I almost pulled the trigger on that console when it came out. Something about it. I love the Joy-Cons. The Joy-Cons are beautiful. But I just like the dock as well with Eevee and Pikachu on it and stuff. And I always liked that console for some reason. And I went to go try to get it after it had launched. And it was like $800 on eBay. And I'm like, I'm not spending that money. That's crazy. So then I went in there yesterday and I saw it. And I walked up to a girl and I was like, is this available? And she looked at me like I had 6 heads. She's like, of course.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, okay, I didn't know. Like, I figured it was sold out, and so, but I bought it.
See, that's funny though, right? So the fact that you saw it listed at $800 on eBay or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that influenced the way you thought about that console? Like, it suddenly seemed more valuable because you'd seen it valued higher.
Well, it basically made me feel like I would never be able to get it at a retail price.
Yeah.
So what it made me do is it made me pull the trigger on it rather than go like, oh, I'll wait till later to get it. But because I just looked at it as I've seen it on the internet priced way high. I can't afford it. I've always kind of wanted this one for some reason. I just liked it. Something that drew me to it. I just wanted it for some reason. Plus, the box art is gorgeous on it. Like, I really like the whole... Comes with the Pokeball Plus. Comes with a lot of stuff. So, there's a lot of value behind it. And I just was like, man, I really want to get this thing. And like I said, I just didn't pull the trigger when it was available. And then I regretted it. I totally regretted it. And then when I saw it at the marked up price, I'll be honest with you. If I didn't know that it was on the internet for $800... I probably wouldn't have pulled the trigger yesterday, only because I would have thought in my mind, oh, I'll just get it later on eBay or something, or but when I saw the price of it at eBay, then I saw it in the store, I was like, I gotta grab this thing now. Like, I can't even mess around. So I was happy with it.
That's cool. Are you going to show it off?
I can show you after the show.
Oh, okay.
It's out in the living room.
Oh, fair enough. You're disappointed.
I'll do a little unboxing of it. Just
all right.
Relax. Okay, so let's jump into the first topic we got here, and I feel like this is something that is just pretty crazy right now. There's so many leaks going on right now about this Switch Mini. But my question to you is, and the topic I want to do is, what's the likelihood that you think we are getting it, and when do you think Nintendo launches it? And then thirdly, will you buy it, or what's it going to take for you to buy it? So let's just start with the first thing. Is like, what's the likelihood? Do you think this thing's going to happen, or what?
Well, I think it's very likely that we're going to get a revision, and I don't necessarily think it's going to be called the Switch Mini or anything like that. I think it's just going to be a new, updated model of the Switch. It might be smaller, but I feel like the selling point isn't going to be that. So I think it's just going to be like the new version of it. So, and Nintendo always do that with their handhelds, especially. So I think it's almost a guarantee that, especially with all the leaks, that it's going to happen.
So you think there's going to be an updated version of the Switch?
Yeah.
But you're not viewing it as like they're going to call it Switch Mini or anything like that. It's just going to be basically like a Switch 2.0, and this is what it is.
That's my feeling about it, because I think, when you start changing it too much, especially if they take away the dock or the ability to dock, if they were to do that, suddenly it's not Switch anymore. Like, they need to remain on that straightforward branding, and I can just see them just updating it, making it more comfortable, better battery life, more more ergonomic, like things like that.
Sean said something on If We Were Nintendo this week that I thought was really poignant. And he said, what if what we believe is the Switch Mini is actually the Switch Mini and the Switch Pro in one? Meaning, we've heard rumors about a Switch Pro. We've heard rumors about a Switch Mini.
Smaller and more powerful.
Yes, exactly. And he said, could you imagine if that was the case? And I was like, sign me up, man. Like, I'm in. Like, give it to me. And when we started looking, while we were on the show, when we started looking at the Switch, if you look at your Switch, right, and you take it out and you look at it, and basically the screen right now, I'm opening up my Switch as it is, but when you have this thing, right, and you look at it, and you can see, like, what if this black border is gone? What if this is the actual size of the screen, what the screen is? So the real estate you actually look like...
Essentially, they could get rid of the bezel.
Get rid of the bezel, but what I'm saying is shrink it down.
Or make the screen bigger.
I don't think they're going to do that. It's just my feeling. I would like them to. Don't get me wrong. I would love them to. But my feeling is that if it's going to be a mini, they're going to shrink that. Like, you take the bezel that's existing, shrink it down, and then add the attachments to that side. And ultimately, when you look at that, if that's the case, it's a much...
I mean, the thing is, the Switch screen itself is about the same size as my phone. Like, my phone is almost exactly the size of the screen. Mm-hmm. So, like, this would be as big as the Switch Mini. Mm-hmm. And if it was as thin as my phone, then that's pretty cool. But when I imagine there being Joy-Cons on the side, the Joy-Cons would have to shrink so much height-wise that's not going to be comfortable anymore, because they're small enough as it is, the Joy-Cons. Like, I can't see it getting smaller.
That's what you're saying. Yeah, it's a weird proposal that's coming, and I'm not sure. I'm just not sure what it is.
Yeah.
And what it boils down to be. Like, it's crazy.
I mean, it's cool. It's still such a mystery, even with all the rumors and leaks, like supposed leaks. You know, because it's boring when you know something, and it's like, just got to wait for them to announce it. Like, because there's so much speculation about it, it keeps things interesting.
There's definitely a lot of speculation about it. There's a lot of stuff that people are just like, what is this thing? What exactly is this? What is it going to be? Like, what's the thought process behind it? But it's a... I don't know, man. It's definitely a mystery to me. My next question would be then, when do you think something like this would launch?
See, I think it would be around holiday, around Christmas time. Just like... that seems like the best time, rather than just timing it with a new game release. I mean, what big games are coming out other than Animal Crossing that would really need an updated version of the console to sell?
Well, okay, so for me, let's back this up a little bit. So for me, I think there's two games that you typically get a special edition Switch for: Pokemon, Animal Crossing. Mm-hmm. They're probably the only two games that Nintendo would. Oh, these glasses are hurt my eyes. There's only two games that I feel like Nintendo warrants to do special editions for, and those are the two. Those are the two that predominantly get special edition consoles. So that being said, we know that's the case. We know when both games launch, right? So we know that one launches in November, and we know that one launches in March. My feeling is that we are going to get, probably in a couple of months, a Pokemon Direct where they break down more of the game a little bit, and they also announce a Switch that is a special edition for Pokemon. Similar to the Let's Go Eevee, Let's Go Pikachu thing that they did. I don't feel like that's when they released the Mini. I feel like the Mini is probably going to coincide with Animal Crossing. And I have reason to believe this. So, you've played Animal Crossing games in the past.
Yeah.
One of the big things are owning your own towns. Mm-hmm. And basically, you want to be able to have total control over your town.
Yeah.
If you share a console with your significant other, or your brother or sister, or whatever it might be, Nintendo has basically said that you can only have one town per console.
So it's not per account?
Not per account, no.
That's so console. Dumb. That's the biggest dumb thing ever.
I think it has something to do with two things. One, they're not doing cloud saves for it, so I think that has something to do with it. And two, I think the other problem is that the save data is tied to the actual console, and it sits on the console. So basically, I guess what I'm understanding is if you log in with another profile, maybe that's the second player in the town, in theory. Mm-hmm. Because we don't have the game, so it's hard to tell. But from what I'm understanding is you, like on the 3DS, if you wanted a second town, you had to have a second cartridge.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense though. Like Breath of the Wild, sure, right? They only let you have one save file per account. But I've got an American account, and I started a new save file on the American account.
Yeah, I did too with
So like,
Japanese.
it doesn't make any sense why that wouldn't be the case for Animal Crossing.
You would think so, right? You would think so. But for whatever reason, they're coming out and saying you can only have one town per console. So if that's the case, and in theory, the Switch Mini would be a more cost-effective version of the Switch, then to me it would make sense to launch this with Animal Crossing. So then someone goes like, well, it's a no-brainer. I'm getting a special edition Animal Crossing. I'm getting a second Switch. Done. You know?
Especially if it's cheap enough to be aimed at children, like the 2DS.
$200 or less is perfect.
They've said before that they want there to be multiple Switches per household.
Yes. And
coinciding that thought with a cheap price tag and the dodgy save manipulation, like, it makes sense that it would launch with that. I would love it if it had changeable faceplates of some kind.
That would be awesome.
Like the 3DS, because then you wouldn't have to worry about getting, I've got to get the Animal Crossing Special Edition. Oh, what about the Pokemon one? I really like the way that looks. Well, just buy the plates. I'm sure they made a lot of money off of that. Like,
I'm sure they did too.
Maybe at that point introduce themes as well into the system. Like,
there's a lot of stuff they can do. But so my third question in this whole thing is, what does it take for you to buy a Mini? Like, is it something that you want or you desire, or
it has to be just shrinking it isn't enough for me. It would have to have longer battery life. It would have to be more comfortable, have perhaps a bigger screen or a better quality screen. It'd have to be better in some way other than the size and the price. Because right now, there's nothing wrong with my Switch. Like, I love it. And just upgrading for the sake of it doesn't make any sense to me. It has to be meaningful. And just, like I said, smaller is not meaningful to me.
I guess for me, I think it just has to depend on the look. You know what I mean? Like, does it make... now that I bought a second Switch, it doesn't make sense for me to buy a third one without reason. And, like, that's the thing. Last night, people were... Like, I posted on Twitter last night. I was like, so do I pull the trigger on the Switch? And people were like, well, you got the Mini coming out. Like, why would you do it now? And my feeling was, in the moment was, A, we don't know when the Mini's coming. We don't know if the Mini's coming. But that being said, we don't know what the Mini is. And if the Mini, like you said, is just a smaller version of the Switch, then I don't want it. Yeah. Like, that's not what I want. You know what I mean? Like, I want it... but if it's a smaller version and it's comfortable in the hands, like more comfortable in the hands... Because I'll be honest with you, without this Satisfy grip, this thing is garbage to play in handheld mode. I'm not a fan of it in handheld mode. So, for me, with the Satisfy grip, though, it works. So if there was something that, like... If it just felt better in the hands, then possibly, you know, like I would be like, okay, this might work for me. I think it all depends on form factor and feel, and then really what's under the hood. Like, what is it bringing to the table? If it's something that has, some enhancements to it that are beneficial to me, then it makes sense for me to buy. But I feel like for me to jump out the door day one and be like, I got to have this thing, there's got to be something to it. Special editions aside, because that's always enough to push me to buy one. But, like, if it's just basically a gray Switch that's smaller, and there's really nothing to it that makes me go, like, I got to have this, I think... the thing of it is, too, is if you're thinking about it, if it's a Switch Mini and the Joy-Cons aren't detachable, well, then there's no reason for there to be buttons on the left side. It might as well be a D-pad. Yeah. And that alone might be enough for me to go like, hey, you know what? This will make me actually play this thing more in handheld. I'm going to get it. Because, as I'm showing my Switch, as I keep showing it, you see I have the hoary left joystick there, or left Joy-Con. So I can have a D-pad on there. But I'm not really a huge fan of their D-pad. Like, it doesn't feel like a Nintendo D-pad.
Yeah.
So, if I could have an official Nintendo D-pad on it, and that sounds so stupid to say, but, like, there's something about Nintendo D-pads that are just better than everybody else's. So, I mean, that might be what pushes me. I don't know. Man, this is all big mystery. This is crazy. This is just nuts. So, I guess we'll see. Let's jump into, real quickly, from Out of the Green Pipe, and with some questions here. So, first question is, I know the Switch is still a new console, but where do you see them going after this? Or do you think they have dug themselves into a situation where they will have to do hybrids forever? What do you think?
So what's super interesting about this is just the other day, there was an article about an investors meeting. And the investors were asking Nintendo something about controllers and what they're planning on doing next. Mm-hmm. And Miyamoto was going on, as he does, like, you know, we created the D-pad, we created the stick on the N64 controller. It's all industry standard now. We did motion controls, like all of this stuff. Like that, he's like bragging basically. And there's this other guy, I can't remember his name, and he's going on about how they're always testing new ideas for controllers and the way players interact with games. And they said that so far, you know, Pro Controller is good, feels great, but they have not managed to make a controller that works universally for every type of gamer. So like, they are trying their best prototyping new controllers all the time, and they did mention motion control again. So I feel like it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be stuck doing a hybrid console forever. Like, they're wacky. Like, you can never predict what Nintendo's going to do. And they always want to be on the forefront of new technology when it comes to gaming. So, I could see them doing something completely different. Even knowing how amazing the Switch is, like, they could come up with something weird, especially controller-wise, for their next thing. So,
see, for me, and you know this because I've said it numerous times, I feel like this version of Nintendo with the Switch is something that'll be here for probably 20 years. At least. Two reasons. One, they have a 20-year contract with NVIDIA. Now, that doesn't mean anything, because they could change up, you know what I mean? They could just be like, hey, we got a 20-year deal to just buy chipsets off of you. Doesn't necessarily mean we have to do the console thing as we do. But, that being said, I feel like this is the perfect storm for them. This is how they also compete against, like the streaming games. Because the one thing that this thing offers is you don't have to have online hooked to it in order to play. And you don't have to have good internet connection in order to play.
Yeah.
So that's a plus that Stadia and all them don't have. Where, okay, yes, I can play on my phone, but if my phone doesn't have access to the internet, I can't play.
I mean, you're right. Like, it really does depend on how internet speeds progress in the next 5 to 10 years. Like, is it going to become worldwide internet is good for everyone?
Yeah.
Because if that's not the case, well, especially in America and Europe and Japan, then the Switch is still going to be a viable competitor, because it looks like everyone's heading towards streaming, and I can see that play anywhere factor of you can play on any device as long as you've got internet connection being really, really compelling for a lot of people, especially casual gamers that don't want to invest in a console. They just want to play a game. Yeah. So, unless that really takes off, then I think the Switch is pretty good for at least another 5 years.
Well, the other thing, too, is, let's be fair, what Nintendo was able to accomplish with the Switch was pretty remarkable in the sense of they were able to appease two territories that have totally different mindsets about what gaming is. Meaning, Japan is mainly mobile gaming. North America and Europe is mainly console gaming.
Yeah.
So they were able to create a 2-in-1 situation that appeases their entire, their entire industry, their entire like marketing in a nutshell. And I feel like that's the one thing where it could hurt Xbox and Sony, because there's a lot of people that are really hesitant with streaming. They're not really sure what it is. They're not sure how it's going to work. They're not sure if it's going to work. So the thing is like, if you had to pay a fee in order to just be able to play games, then you have to buy games on top of it, it makes people go like, but what happens in 20 years? Like, that's the thing. Right now, I know that I'm going to be able to play this Switch 20 years from now. I'll be able to play. I could, if I'm buying physical games, I can actually load them in and play them. No different than my NES and my Super Nintendo and my N64, like all that stuff. We know that that's where gamers' hearts is to be able to load in and play anytime, anywhere, and just not have to worry about the internet's down. Like, think about it. What's the number one thing that you want to do when it's a snowstorm? Or it's just like, I don't think you guys have hurricanes or things like that. Where you want
to cozy on up and play a video game.
But what if your power's out and you can't, or your internet goes down and you can't stream and play? But with Nintendo, you're still able to. And I think they're going to go the opposite of what the big guys are going, because in a nutshell, they just probably feel like we don't necessarily need to be there yet.
I think the Switch is a great lifestyle device. Like, it fits around what your day-to-day life is.
Yes.
You don't have a lot of time on the TV because you've got a daughter that likes to watch TV, or your wife's really into the hottest new garbage program on TV, and you're like, I just want to play a game. Play it on your Switch. Like, I love the fact that it's so easy to do that, and it's so comfortable. You can play it in bed, anywhere. I wish I could do that with PlayStation games as well. And streaming might solve that a little bit, but it's never going to be as reliable, as you say, as the Switch is. I just hope that they upgrade the power on the Switch, because I'm getting a little bit worried about next gen now, because I keep seeing these third-party ports coming to the Switch, like Red Faction, War Master, or whatever it is. That was remastered, right? And it runs. There's like a performance mode and a quality mode. It runs pretty well in handheld, but docked, it's absolutely atrocious. Like, goes down to like 13 frames a second, and there's too many games now that are like that. Yeah. So they're gonna, if they're like that now, imagine when the next gen comes along and the games are even more hard to port. Like, Nintendo's gonna start getting left behind again. So they really do need to upgrade the power at some point.
I agree. I definitely agree. Next question. Why is Nintendo constantly behind the curve when it comes to online features? For example, in Mario Maker 2, I can't simply find my friends' levels without them sending me a code. I don't know. And it's pure stupidity in my mind. Like, Sean and I were talking about this last night or Friday night or whatever, and my thing was, what I said to him was, look, you play Mario Kart, right? You log on Mario Kart, and I could search and see what friends of mine are playing the game, and then go join their races. I'm playing Splatoon 2, and I can log on, and I can check my friends and see who's playing, and go join their matches. Why in the world can I not log into Mario Maker, search my friends list, and go, I just want to go play their levels?
Yeah. I ran into this the other day. Like, I was trying to find your level, and I was like, well, I'm friends with Bobby. Surely his levels will just show up automatically on my list. Nope. I was like, all right, I'll just type in Nintendo Guru. Oh, no, you need a Maker ID. So it's not, you can't even search by your friend's Switch name or whatever. Yeah. And then eventually I found one of your posts that you shared one of your levels.
Okay.
And I was like, all right, so I'll just type this in. The menus were atrocious. Like I couldn't find where to type it in for a long time. And even when I did type it in and I'd played your level, I'd starred you as a creator, and then I spent half an hour or so trying to figure out how to find your profile because it's not straightforward.
Yeah.
You can go to the star tab and it's not. You know, I might be following you, but I can't look at your profile. I have to scroll through a list of levels and maybe find one that you posted. It's just bizarre stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, they are so far behind with their online stuff, and there must be like some company policy or someone in charge over there that's laying down the rules for stuff like this, and they're just so out of touch. Like, they're missing something.
It's almost like they are missing a chromosome mentally within them that just like doesn't let them fix this. Like, it's almost a block. I mean, it's almost like someone who perhaps as a child gets beat quite a bit, and then every time you like raise your hand by them, they flinch. Like, you just go grab a bottle of water and they flinch. And it's a sign of like, hey, they're getting beat at home quite a bit. And it's weird. It's a weird analogy, and it's a silly analogy to some degree, probably way off base. But the idea is like, it's this weird thing that every time you mention internet with them, they jump, like they duck out of the way of it. They don't know how to handle it, and it's like, why? Like, why in the world are you continually behind the 8 ball here? And this is something that should be. I mean, it's almost like they don't let their development teams talk to each other. Like, how in the world can they not? How in the world can they be this far behind? Where you have 2 games. Not only that, Smash. You can do the same thing with Smash. I can go find people I want to play against that are my friends. Like, how in the world are friends lists implemented into some games and not all the games?
Yeah,
just
and
doesn't make sense.
It's funny as well with the voice chat, because some third-party developers manage to get around it and make their own voice chat, and it's none of it is. It's not cohesive at all in the slightest. So yeah, it's just weird. Like, maybe they were just too stubborn. Like, because when the N64 was around, it's like, oh, this is a couch multiplayer console, and they carried that idea about Nintendo is all about people being in the room together playing. They took that into the GameCube, into the Wii. They begrudgingly took the Wii Online, and I feel like because that was a party console, they still wanted people to play offline with friends more than anything. And that mantra is just sort of carrying on, going and going and going. It's like they should have started early. Like, the PS2 was online. Like, was the GameCube online? I don't know.
They had the ability to do it, but they just never took it online.
Yeah, just weird. Yeah. Like, they should have just run with it sooner. Yeah, then maybe they'd be ahead.
Possibly. Are we going to see different themes coming to the Switch?
Instead of just black and white.
You think, yeah?
That would be nice, but it seems like such a low priority on features that they could implement. Like, I mean, because it's so functional and clean. I mean, you know, folders would probably be better to have first. I
agree.
And like, just update the eShop. That'd be great. Yeah. Like, stuff like that's more important than themes. So I hope that they do that before themes come.
Yeah. Will we get another mini console?
Like an N64 mini? I'd like to think so. However, like, they've talked recently about possibly they're thinking about updating the online games, retro games, with their online service. They didn't say how they were thinking about doing it, but they said that they know and understand people's wants to play their back catalogue. They're understanding the demand for that. how that manifests itself is either going to be more micro consoles, or it's going to be you can play it on your Switch somehow. Like, I think it's probably more likely they're going to have a virtual console or something. Like, they must know that they're losing so much money by not having that. Like, I bet they made tons of money on Wii and Wii U just from their virtual console games. Like,
it's funny that, it's funny. We were all podcasting together around the time that NX was a thing. And Sean used to always harp on he didn't want to buy the games again.
Yeah.
And they took that away. Like, they were just like, we're not going to have a virtual console at this moment.
Yeah.
And now people are like, I just want them. Bring them back. I want to put... And it's almost like... It's a weird thing. Like, I remember Sean talking about when the Switch reveal happened, and they didn't even talk about there being a touchscreen on this. Yeah. So we didn't know if there was a touchscreen on it. And people were... All of a sudden, something that people didn't even care about, they were forcing, like, where's the touchscreen? Why don't we have touchscreen? And then Nintendo was like, oh, here's a touchscreen. It's almost one of these things that, like, they purposely don't show it to us in order to get us in a frenzy for it, and then we're willing to pay for it again. And it's like, okay, we're going to make money off this thing again. Like, let's go.
It could be psychological manipulation.
It probably is with them.
Very well could be.
They're
always
is.
A bit like that, yeah.
I don't know. I just... I don't think we'll get another mini. I think it's done. Yeah. I think the only other mini that makes sense to me is a Game Boy, but really I don't want a mini Game Boy.
I think that the N64 mini, the controller would have to be a full-size controller, and they're big controllers.
They're big controllers.
Like, and they've got a stick on and everything. Like, I just think that and the games would just put the price up quite a bit. Like, I think you're much more likely to have a Game Boy one, like you say. So.
I agree. I just think that, I don't know. We'll see. Last thing, we're going to hit into the wrap-up, and we're just going to talk some Mario Maker 2. I don't know, what's your... I guess I could go... I'll go first here, because I feel like I was the one that was kind of down on this game prior to it coming out.
You were really down on it.
I didn't want it at all. I'll be honest with you. And I bought it, and man, I was so wrong. So wrong. Like, this game is a must-own for me. Like, I am so glad I bought it. I'm having so much fun with it. I literally just went and bought a stylus yesterday or Friday from Amazon. It should be here today, so I can actually start creating levels in handheld, because I hate using my fingers. That's another animal that we're going to get. I'm not even going to go down that path, because that's an angry, venomous path that we'll go down. I don't want to go there. But that being said, like, and I feel like this, Toby, this is crazy. The key to it all for me is the levels that are being made are so damn good. Like, better than the last Mario Maker. And it was like, the last time we were just weeding through piles of garbage to find these gems within them. And I feel like this time, there's so many good levels out there. Like, you're not really weeding through the garbage. You're just basically finding gem after gem after gem.
It's really interesting how, like on day one, there are so many levels that are already mind-blowing with, like, such creativity. Things that I would never think of doing.
Yeah.
And, like, last night I played a Castlevania level that somebody made. And it feels like Castlevania, like, weirdly. And I don't know how they did it to make it have that feeling of that game. But you got chandeliers that have, like, the little flames on them and stuff. And when you walk under it, the flames drop down. And the best part of that level, there's a clock tower section. And they somehow made it. You know, you can, like, in Castlevania, you can jump on the gears as you're going up the clock tower. They've made these gears out of blocks on the railings that spin around. So there's blocks in the middle that go one way, and then blocks on the outside that go the other way. And it really does look like some clock tower gears that are working together, and you jump on top of them to get up there. It's just so clever and creative. And there's so many different levels like that. Like, have you seen the Ocarina of Time dungeon inspired levels? Somebody's remade the Deku Tree, and it is exactly like it is in Ocarina of Time, just 2D.
Get out of here.
It's crazy. They made
I
the
gotta check it
Dongo's
out.
Cavern. Like there's so many creative
Yeah, there's some amazing stuff
out there.
I did see someone recreated Zelda 2. And I was like looking at that today, and I was like, I gotta go play this level. Like, there's some crazy stuff out there, man. It just makes me wish that they would have implemented amiibo support again.
Yeah, I think they will. Definitely.
I do too, but
but you know what? Like, when I thought about the new course elements, like the on-off switches and the grabbers, I thought we were gonna get a lot of levels with that stuff because it's like the new thing in the game, so people are just gonna keep using it. And we have got a lot of stuff, but what I didn't expect was how important those things are to changing the way you play those levels.
Yeah.
Because there's so much more you can do with these elements, combining those elements with old elements that completely change the feeling of the level and what you can actually physically do to achieve cool stuff.
Yeah.
So, and the fact that people have figured that stuff out so quickly is amazing.
Yeah, they definitely have. It's dude, it's just ingenious.
Is there like anything negative? I know we touched on the online stuff.
I hate the 2-player or the multiplayer where you can actually all play on the same level, because the only way to get points in that is to win the race.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, first off, it bogs down sometimes.
It does.
And then not only that, like, you're running this race and like I could be winning the whole time and someone just gets me at the last second. And like they get all the points, I get none. It's like so I'm not improving in the ranks, and it's like this is a waste of time.
It's funny because Mario is a platformer, and a lot of it's about platforming skill, but multiplayer does not reward that. No. It rewards cheesers and cheaters. Like, which I don't know. It's just a bit of fun, but until you can play with friends, then I think it's not going to be that much fun.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I agree completely. It's weird that we're at this position. You know, it should be just a fluid thing that just happens, but we're not. And
I feel like the discoverability of my levels is worse than it was on the Wii U. Because I felt like when you was playing the original, you could upload a level and straight away somebody would play it. You'd get comments straight away. But now, like, because I'm uploading, I guess it's because it's brand new out and there's so many new levels because there's more people that own a Switch. Yeah. So it's probably already outsold the Wii version or near enough. Like, and because it's like a frenzy, I've got to get noticed, got to upload a level straight away. Yeah. I feel like my levels aren't getting played as much as they would have been on Wii U. Yeah. So, like, you know, I upload a level, and in the last couple of days, like, maybe one person has played it, and it's like, it's a bit disappointing, but...
It is, and I'm telling you, that's why you need to go put your stuff, start using Discord, man. You put your levels in there, and I'm telling you, the people that are playing, we're all playing each other's levels.
I will. I'm just not that proud of my levels yet. There's one level that I like. I think I've uploaded 3 levels. One of them's like a Goomba village, and it's got little houses that you go in, and then you got to get a power up from another house and go back. And
I've got 2 levels up right now. I'm working on a third, but I'm waiting for my trials today. The one has been played, the Pipe World has been played 207 times.
Trust me, Bobby. Me and Mike played that more than 200 times.
No. Okay, hold on. Let me correct this. 207 people have played it. It's been played 1,300 times.
Yeah, I think we put probably 400 attempts, maybe. Because they're like 30-second attempts or less. Yeah. Like, we played it so much.
Yeah, and then the Runaway Train has been played 1,200 times, almost 1,300, 1,293, and by 175 people. So my levels are doing, for me, I'm happy with that. I'm you know what I mean? Like, I would like more, obviously, but I'm pretty ecstatic that that's where we are with this. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but it's gonna be interesting.
I'll tell you what, I am enjoying this more than the original Mario Maker.
I am as well.
So I don't know whether that's just because it's on the Switch and in handheld, it's way better than holding a Wii U gamepad. Like having this stylus and drawing on the screen feels so perfect. Like the interface is good. It's only when you go to do it on the TV.
That's horrible.
If you try and make a level with a Pro controller on the TV, man, is that bad.
It's the worst.
It's totally just not worth it. I think I would rather draw in a pad, like sketch it out to do on the handheld mode later or whatever. Like,
yeah, I'm with you. I just wish that and I, I don't know what it is. I feel like there's people creating levels with items, and I just can't find them items. As weird as that sounds.
Oh, the secret stuff.
Yeah.
I thought that you unlocked some of that stuff in story mode. I mean, I've not beaten story mode.
Yeah, I'm
so
gonna beat story mode today. Like, I'm not gonna stop until
I mean, like the stuff they showed off in the direct, like the night stuff, the moon and the sun. I haven't got any of that.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't.
Works.
I guess you get that from playing story mode.
Got it. It's got to be the keys. Yeah. Maybe I should do that now. Maybe I should just skip this podcast and start playing story mode. So, that is all. Thank you guys for listening to another episode of Nintendo Talk. We really, truly appreciate all the support and all the love. You can follow Toby on Twitter at Toby's_take. You can check me out on Twitter at Nintendo Gurus. That is all. Peace out, Preston.
I am the one who games.
And runs around with his balls hanging out.
Scott.